Hello and welcome to livealittlehigher.com. This week we continue learning our Pirkei Avot, our Ethics of the Fathers, with chapter 2, Mishna 20, and with the teachings of the Maharal of Prague. So Mishna 20 says, Rabbi Tarfon says, the day is short, the task is abundant, the laborers are lazy, the wage is great, and the master of the house is insistent. So what he's saying here, Rabbi Tarfon, it sounds like we're in a rush, but the message is that we must not permit ourselves to be distracted from Torah study. It's really talking about Torah study, to be diligent with it, but it's also not only talking about Torah study in a more practical sense, it's also talking about that each one of us has something to do in this world. We have a purpose, we have a mission, and sometimes we get distracted and we lose time and we lose our own potential to be able to do the things we have to do. So here, whether one does much or one does little, as long as his heart is directed towards heaven. And in the following Mishnah, you do not have to finish the labor. So what he's saying here is very interesting. He says that the different metaphors of this Mishnah show from every perspective that we cannot afford to waste time. That's what it's really telling us. That time is precious. Time is something that you cannot bring back. If you have 1 minute in this world, whatever you do with it, that's what you have. That minute will never come back. If you spend it in your iPhone playing games, then that minute that you could have used to do something more purposeful, something more meaningful, like do a chapter of Tehillim in someone's married, someone is sick, or just to pray, you're losing your time. So consider the volume of material to cover. What is he saying is like there's so much to learn, there's so much to do in this world, and God has high expectations. He expects a lot from us. Why? Because He created us. He knows what potential we have. He knows what we're capable of. It's like when you have a child and he brings you an F in school, and you know your kid is very intelligent and he can do it. It's not that he needs help or he's not being able to learn. You know that he has that potential. You know he has a good head. You know he can do it. Then you get upset because you have an expectation for this child. You know what his potential is. So the same is with Hashem. He knows exactly what we're made of. So the it doesn't matter how difficult the task is, the limited ability of a human being and the short time available, the inescapable conclusion is that there is not a moment to waste. We cannot waste time. Time is so precious. We have to use it to the fullest. And that we must apply the maximum energy possible. We should not be lazy people, and we must make every effort to complete the task. We have to do the effort, and the failure to do so constitutes negligence. So we have to put our best. We have to do our best. We cannot sit down and wait for things to happen. If they happen or they don't happen, that's secondary. Hashem runs that part. But we ourselves, we have to put our best part. So the statements such as you are not required to complete the task apply only to one who has made the maximum effort. So we have to put the effort, and sometimes, yes, sometimes we don't get to finish what we began. I know people that begin amazing projects and suddenly they die, God forbid, and they couldn't finish what they had to do. But you know what? Someone else takes it upon themselves and they finish it for them. But the capacity of that person was not wasted. He did the best he could. That's what's important. So the day is short, the task is abundant, the Torah is conceptual, and therefore is unbounded in magnitude and time. So as a result, the day is short because all the days since creation would not be time enough to spend on Torah, and the task is abundant because finite mankind cannot embrace an infinite Torah. So what it's saying is that time is short because there's so much to do. There's so much to do in this world. So much. We have to learn, we have to do mitzvahs, we have to help people, we have to work, we have to take care of our family, we have to be kind to others. There's so much to do. But on the other hand, we cannot do everything because it's infinite. So the laborers are lazy and the master of the house is insistent. And the master from whom we are working is Hashem, is God. Never forget that you work for him. And the all-powerful, from that perspective, he is extremely insistent. And because nothing is laborious to him, by contrast, a human being, like all physical things, have inertia that our Mishna describes as the laborers are lazy. So when it says the laborers are lazy, it's talking about that we get inertia. And this is a normal human condition. So this Mishna does not demand the impossible of a human being. And it's not, a human is not expected to be like an angel, but he has a potential. Although he has a physical limitation, he also has a potential. And when God gave us the Torah, he challenged us to emulate spiritual beings. He wanted us to emulate spiritual beings within the limits of a physical being, by acting with energy and dedication. So what Hashem is asking us is really live life with alacrity, be diligent, be energized. Don't be like this. Do whatever you need to do to have the energy to produce and fulfill Torah and mitzvot. So to waste the limited resources that we do have is to sin flagrantly. How could anyone even think of wasting time and talent? Yet the majority of our eating and drinking is wasteful, distracting us from studying Torah energetically. So what it's saying is that most of the things we do, mundane things, are really not necessary. Like, you need to eat, yes, but do you need to eat for 2 hours? No. You need to ingest whatever you need for your energy, to do blessings, to eat mindfully, with kavanah, with gratefulness. But we don't need to spend 2 hours in a lunch. We don't need to do that because we're wasting our time. So it's distracting us from story energetically. Rather, we must be as diligent and focused in our studies as we intend to finish the Torah. So we ourselves, our purpose, our focus, our goal should be that we want to finish the whole Torah. If we finish or not, that's a separate thing. But inside of us, we should want to do all these things. We should have the energy to do all these things. Sometimes you get distracted in the phone. It happens to me. And sometimes I say, okay, I can't believe I wasted 10-15 minutes in this stupid whatever news that you're reading, or Facebook, or whatever it is. And those 15 minutes could have been used very wisely. So think about time. Think about how precious it is. Don't take it for granted. Use it to the fullest and live a little higher. Thank you.